With the latest JJK chapter release, things are not looking good for the Gojo comeback we've been expecting so far, as it seems like they might actually not need him to defeat Sukuna for a rematch between the two peaks of Jujutsu. But considering this is Sukuna we're talking about, and I am sure he will clap back at Yuji with some new Heian era stretch considering the way he demonstrated his domain, because in my opinion he should not lose yet for the sake of the writing. But the thing is, while Gege's idea of leaving Sukuna undefeated was not quite executed properly, the overall plot is going smoothly right now, and I think we should shed some light on our blue-eyed king who been gaining screen time every chapter just from flashbacks, so I think there is more to it. Now there are countless Gojo theories out there, from the eye-binding vow to the blossom flower theory to the Gojo arts release that made his comeback most likely to happen. But amongst all the questions and the agendas, there is one that piqued my interest, and that is the sole question: why Sukuna didn't go and meet Gojo in his realm to give him his regards, or share their most genuine thoughts to each other to conclude the fight. It's still a good question because Gojo himself stated that he is not sure whether it's a dream or the afterlife, but I think it's his dream realm, so why it wasn't the case like Jogo and Kashimo? Does that mean there is unfinished business between the two? Let's talk about it. Before I start yapping, we gotta give more context about this simple idea. It basically implies that whenever Sukuna defeats a significant opponent in terms of ideals and power, he shares with them his quote-unquote love, according to his terms that is. So in other words, it's not Gojo over yet because it did not happen, or so what some might say. Now, sharing thoughts or visiting a realm is not something strange to manga plots, as it was shown before many times where characters clash their ideals or acknowledgement in different mind realm when concluding a fight, which is kind of the case here with Sukuna and his significant opponents so far. Now, I use significant because there are very few who Sukuna acknowledged as real opponents, and Gojo is surely one of them, but to break down the concept, we gotta address the characters that Sukuna paid them a visit so far in their fantasy domain. In Jogo's case, Sukuna enters the domain and learns about Jogo's ideology, as he learns that Jogo wants cursed spirits to replace humanity on Earth, but Sukuna finds this foolish as he believes Jogo should have set the world aflame without second thought, without even concerning himself about Satoru Gojo. Despite being too weak to take a hold of such desires, Jogo isn't bad compared to other fighters Sukuna encountered over the last 1000 years. Impressed, Sukuna tells Jogo to stand proud and commends him for being strong. Recognized for his strength by the most powerful sorcerer around, Jogo sheds a tear from his single eye. He wipes it away and asks, "What is this?" But Sukuna doesn't know either. But the thing is, later Sukuna himself reveals that it is his way of love. And we are gonna explain that on the second character, which is none other than Kashimo, as he too acknowledged him before delivering the last blow. As we are visited by his old self gazing what could be his old home as he neared his end. In a conversation with Sukuna about solitude, strength and love, Sukuna asserted that love was terrible and strength was paramount, granting him the freedom he desired, basically stating that it is his form of love. As he says, "We are loved because we are strong, therefore responds to that love with strength." Lastly, with Gojo, it did not end in the same pattern, and honestly that is quite intriguing and simple at the same time. While some could say that Gojo already knows the answers he needs for his ideals and his will, but the same for Kashimo. He already knew the answers, but I think it's just that Gojo is enlightened enough to acknowledge and accept those answers regarding his solitude and the love he seeks, unlike Kashimo. If that wasn't the case, I think the words that Sukuna said at the end would have been said inside Gojo's realm, as he states that he would never forget him. The thing that makes this fight very beautiful and will always be a generational masterclass of fate is the intentions and the ideals of both characters. Gojo was indeed trying to reach Sukuna using the one thing that Sukuna understands, and that is power and strength. But he didn't even once question him verbally. He never asked him what is love or what is loneliness, but yet Sukuna knew all along. In fact, he felt it all through their fight, as in the different translations he actually said, "My skies are cleared, Gojo," which means he finally feels free from certain burden, and that is, or he is finally enlightened about something, which can mean that this is the reason why they didn't need to have the inner domain talk, or the other way around. It might imply that this fight is not over and they need to discuss the matters in Sukuna classic way, where they talk inside the door, dream realm, and who knows, if Gojo really comes back, it could be the other way around where Gojo gives his final regard. Honestly, considering the events that happened so far, the unexplained whereabouts of Gojo's corpse and its states with Soko, the unresolved off-screen, Kinjaku's plan and final fight of the cast to finish the series, I can't imagine them taking it head on without Gojo. or at least he should come back to make one last sacrifice, because there is no reason for Gege to make all these hints just for him to troll the fandom. I mean, if he wants to live with ops, that's his thing. But yeah, that's it for the overview of the fight and this little theory specifically. Please let me know what you think or comment down any thought about it. I would appreciate it greatly. Take good care and please stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one soon.